Welcome to Alan Berry Reports TV. I'm your host, Alan Berry Labucan from AlanBerryReports.com. Today we have a new installment of our In the News show. This is a show where we talk about resource companies with recent developments. On today's show we have two companies to talk about. One is focused on gold, platinum, palladium, and the other is a silver and gold focused company. And we'll open the show with some comments about key trends that we follow to predict where prices for commodities are going into the future. But before getting started, we always like to send some thank you messages out to those that are important in us being able to bring this show to you. We use YouTube.com as our to produce and broadcast these shows. YouTube, the folks over at YouTube have a wonderful website for anybody that's interested in doing online shows, and we highly recommend them. Also, if you're watching the show on our website at AlanBerryReports.com and you look to the left and right of me, you'll notice that we have banners. Those banner sponsors are really important in us being able to do these shows and bring them to you. If you want to do some homework on those shows, those banners are directly linked to the company's website, and on their websites you can find plenty of information about their various different projects, their news, the people involved, their plans for the future. It's a really great way for you to do your homework on those companies, and we invite you to check them out. And of course, to you, the viewers, without you, we wouldn't. You give us an audience to talk to about commodities and resource stocks and the markets, and we really appreciate you tuning in to watch. So thank you very much for joining us. As I said, we'll open with some commentary on some of the key trends that we follow in order to predict where we think prices are going into the future. And we've been bullish on commodities for several years now, commodities and by extension resource stocks, and that was based on long-term supply and demand trends for several commodities. One example would be gold. When gold was trading far below 1,000 and moving towards that price, we were very bullish in our reports at that time, our email newsletter, and in television interviews on BNN, Business News Network. That's bnn.ca up here in Canada. And the main reasons was because you could tell from the pipeline of supply that it was very, very weak. And then more recently, in 2008, there was a slowdown in exploration and funding for exploration for new deposits. This has led to a slowdown in new discoveries in the past year or so. In my work, part of the thing that we do every day to be able to bring these shows to you is to review a lot of news releases and look for. We're always on the hunt to look for new companies to talk about on the shows, but it's getting more and more difficult to find new companies to talk about with new discoveries that we want to discuss on the shows. Part of that reason is also that we've found over the past 5+ years that we've been putting out the reports, we've found a lot of really high quality companies. But nonetheless, we're always trying to bring new companies along, and that's where things are getting really tight. And basically, why we follow the supply chains of many commodities so closely is if you want to see what's going to happen in the future when it comes to commodities, you have to pay close attention to demand. That's one key important area. But then also very important is the supply pipeline. Current production will tell you what's happening today. It'll give you some clues about what's happening tomorrow, such as how much life is left in the mine, if they're how they're scheduling their mining production, if they've high graded for a couple of years, well, they're going to start to produce lower grade, these sort of things. But the new discoveries and the development of new producing properties tells you a lot about what is going to happen into the future. That's the key pipeline that we keep very close attention to. Long-term supply in many commodities is very weak, and this is due to underspending in the past few decades, especially relative to the demand that's coming from developed and rapidly growing emerging economies. What you do with the drilling today to look for new discoveries or building of new discoveries that were recently found affects what's going to happen in the future. And so if you're not spending enough, especially, again, it's relative to the demand that's coming from developed and rapidly growing emerging economies. And and then recently there's been added weakness in the past couple years after the post-2008 economic calamity. There was even more slowdown, and this is a strong indication about what's going to happen in the 5 to 10 year window. Based on the long term and these more recent short term trends in demand and in the added weakness in the supply chains of many commodities, one can predict with a high probability of being correct, as we do, that the bull market for commodities is in very good shape to continue for the next decade and beyond. The long-term bull market for prices of commodities is also very bullish for resource stocks. Obviously, the resource stocks are the ones who own the commodities that are in the ground and to be produced. And with it becoming more difficult to find new discoveries to talk about on our shows, and a minimal amount of companies with high quality projects, and then at the same time there is a growing number of investors that are looking to invest in a relatively small group of resource companies with high quality projects. This is a recipe for things to go higher for not only commodities long term, but this small group of resource stocks with high quality projects. And fortunately, since we started our reports in 2005, we have put together a great roster of companies with high quality projects in several key commodities, and things are shaping up for these companies to be under higher demand from a rapidly growing audience of investors. And as I said, this is a recipe for higher valuations for several of the resource companies that we follow in our reports and on the shows. And again, if you want to find a roster of our reports, just look above me on the website. You'll see a report section. Our most recent report was our 28th, or the one that's on there is our 28th edition. Just if you look in there, you'll find the roster with all the various different companies that have been featured in the email newsletter. And then if you want to find the companies that have been featured on our shows, look above me again at the shows section, and in there we have all the various different shows with a description, an overview of the show, who was talked about, what we talked about, and then a link to go watch any of those past shows. And so that's a wrap on our chat, our opening commentary. Now we're going to move into the companies in the news. The first company we're going to talk about today is Colossus Minerals, Inc. On the disclosure, we're not shareholders of the company. Our past coverage includes, they're a featured company in our Alan Berry Reports email newsletter. We started coverage of them on February the 2nd, 2009, which was our 22nd edition. Again, if you look above me on the website, you'll see that report section. In there, you can find that 22nd edition. And then we started coverage of them on the shows here on June the 10th, 2010. Look above me at the shows section. You can find that June 10th show. Their website is colossusminerals.com. That's COLOSSUSMINERALS.com. We've talked about them during a few of our past shows. The most recent time was on our November 9th, 2010 show. And since then, they've had a couple news releases that we want to talk about today. One was on February 10th, 2011, and the other was on March the 7th, 2011. So I'm now going to pull up their website. Again, that's colossusminerals.com. And in there they have an investor section. Then we look in the news releases. In the news release section, we're looking for the 2011 news releases. And we'll start with that February where are we here? We're looking for the, it's the March 7th press release. I got my dates mixed up a little there. I thought we had two news releases to talk about. Let me just pull up another file here, and oh yes, that was February 10th. The February 10th press release, the headline is Colossus Minerals Development Update February 2011. They went on in there that press release that the year of 2010 was of significant value creation and a high level of achievement for Colossus Minerals. The objectives completed last year have positioned Colossus for long-term growth and exposure to significant resource potential, and have placed Colossus into a higher tier of emerging gold developers/producers. The 2010 highlights included the expansion of the company's land package with the acquisition of 774 hectares of new ground contiguous to Serra Pelada. Environmental installation and mining licenses granted. Discovery of new mineralized zones at their GT and Western and Portal zones. Step-out drilling at Serra Pelada. Confirmed the extension of the central mineralized zone to new ground, and development progress at Serra Pelada progressed rapidly with simultaneous exploration and mine construction. With 2010 well underway, there's tremendous sense of excitement within the organization as the company prepares to build and operate a mine at Serra Pelada. Then we're going to go back to, then the next press release was on March the 7th. And in that March the 7th press release, the headline is Colossus Minerals purchases ball mill and announces plan to extract a 2,500-ton bulk sample at Serra Pelada. Then they go in and give you a bunch of details about their the work that they're doing. They talked about the 2011 development milestones update, that they've got a 25,000 meter surface exploration drill program underway. They talk about the focus of that exploration drilling into the various different zones. These zones are where they found high-grade gold, platinum, and palladium. They talked about their underground workings. They have 3,500 meter underground decline progressing as planned, with 200 meters completed. Then they give you some more details about their underground drilling, the construction of their 200-person camp that commenced in 2010, dewatering, process plant engineering and design continues to progress. All of these details are in the press release. And then also included is a map that shows you the key zones that they've been drilling on. There's a main zone, their western zone, their GT zone, and their portal zone. And you can find all the past assay results with some very high-grade gold, platinum, and palladium from those zones in their past press releases on the company's website. And so that's the key information we wanted to talk about from their press releases. Just switching over to another page here. Some of the reasons that we like the company is they have high grade gold, platinum, and palladium. Platinum and palladium, we're very bullish on platinum and palladium, but finding companies with projects outside of Russia and South Africa, which are countries that we don't follow, other than to monitor what's happening as far as the pipeline. So finding projects outside of those two countries is very difficult. In this case, Colossus project is in Brazil. They're moving it aggressively toward production. It's near surface, open pit, and again, high grade, which is a very good combination. So they're well funded. They're going to be putting out a lot of news, and we expect to have a very good flow of news and a lot to talk about on future shows regarding Colossus, and a great place for you to start out your homework and trying to understand what Colossus is working on is on their website. Again, that's colossusminerals.com. It's COLOSSUSMINERALS.com, and that's a great place for you to start your homework. So that's a wrap on the chat regarding Colossus. Next, we're going to move to our second company today, which is Mirasol Resources Limited. On the disclosure, we're not shareholders of the company. Our past coverage, we've had them on our show once before on January the 6th, 2011. Their website, I just forgot to write it down in my notes, but I have it here, is mirasolresources.com. That's MIRASOLRESOURCES.com. And we're looking for a few press releases from them. One was on March the 14th. We had one on January 13th and one on February 15th that we want to talk about. So I'm just going to pull up their website now. Again, mirasolresources.com. And on their website, they have a news section. Just click on that news section, and we'll start with the March the 14th press release. The headline from that one is Mirasol's partner Coeur d'Alene elects to take the Joaquin project to feasibility stage. They go on that Mirasol is pleased to announce that Coeur d'Alene, its joint venture partner at the Joaquin Silver Gold project located in Santa Cruz Province, Argentina, has notified Mirasol of its election to proceed to earn a 61% interest by taking the project through feasibility stage. Then they give you some more details. The Mirasol Core Exploration and Joint Venture Agreement was signed in 2006. They give you all the details of what work's gone on, how Coeur d'Alene earned their interest, what that leaves when this work is completed. They mention that Coeur d'Alene will be the project operator in the initial, and they're undertaking an initial resource calculation for the La Morocha and La Negra silver gold prospects at Joaquin. There's press releases they note on October 18th, November 3rd, and January 18th related to that Joaquin project. And then they give you some details about Mirasol. So that's on their website. Then the next press release we wanted to talk about was the January 13th press release. And in that one, the headline is Mirasol announces remaining 21 holes from the Virginia project Phase 1 drilling confirm a significant high-grade silver discovery. They go on that they were pleased to announce the remaining 21 holes of the Phase 1 diamond drill program at their Julia vein at their 100% owned Virginia project in Santa Cruz Province, Argentina. These results confirm a significant high-grade silver discovery at the project with multiple new drill holes returning intersections between 9 and 26.6 meters with grades between 250 and 1,000 grams per ton of silver, which includes higher grade internal intervals grading between 1,000 and 6,200 grams per ton silver. Very high grade silver and healthy intersections as well. That's always a nice combination. Sometimes we'll see high grade projects, but they tend to have really narrow intersections. These ones are quite healthy. Then they have more details about the exploration. They have a table with all the various different results, so you can see all the various different intersections with high grade over significant intervals, and that can all be found in their January 13th news release. Then the next one we're going to talk about is the February 15th, and in that one they announced that Mirasol commences Phase 2 drilling at the Virginia project in Argentina. So the one that they had the results on January 13th, they're now getting their Phase 2 drilling underway. They announced that they were pleased that the Phase 2 drilling has commenced on their 100% held Virginia property located in Santa Cruz Province, Argentina. Phase 2 is designed to further explore the Julia vein and possibly other targets identified through surface exploration. Then they gave you some other highlights again of that Phase 1 program, and basically you can go into the previous news release and find more details. Then there's a quote from Mary Little, who is the president of Mirasol, who stated, and I quote, "We're very pleased with the silver results from Phase 1 drilling at the Virginia vein system, which confirmed grades from surface channel chip sampling. The next phase of exploration drilling is designed to provide additional information on the Julia vein and to step out along strike and to depth. In addition, Phase 2 may test other targets outside the Julia vein." End quote. And so that's a wrap on the news that we wanted to talk about from Mirasol. Just going to pull up another page here. Some of the key reasons that we follow the company is they're focused on silver and gold. They have projects from exploration through to advanced stage projects. They're in a mining-friendly region of Argentina. They're well-funded. They've got plenty of work underway now with their drilling, and then the work that their partner is going to be doing on that feasibility work. So we expect to see a very good news flow, and now that they're getting into that Phase 2 program, we expect to be talking about their future results in upcoming shows. And so if you want to do some homework on the company, again, check out their website at mirasolresources.com. That's MIRASOLRESOURCES.com. Great place for you to go and do your homework to try to understand what the company is doing and what their prospects are. And so that's a wrap on our In the News section. Before closing, we'd like to stress that this show and our reports are for information purposes only. We aren't making buying or selling recommendations. It's important for you to do your own research and speak with your financial advisors before making any investment decisions. We're always trying to grow our audience, and any efforts you make to let your friends that follow the markets know about our website, our shows, our reports would be greatly appreciated. We also greatly appreciate you taking the time to watch these shows. We know that everybody is very busy these days, and we strive to produce a show that saves you time and brings you helpful, high-quality information. Our next show, we'll be doing another In the News show. We kind of got into a good flow lately where we do some commentary and then talk about a couple companies in each show. That seems to be the format that we're liking these days, so we'll keep doing that. If you want to find out about when our shows go out or any other work that we're doing, you can subscribe to our email list. If you look above me at the subscribe button on the website, there's no charge to be on our email list, and we send out emails whenever we're doing shows like this, or our reports, or updates, or if we're doing a TV appearance or a public speaking engagement. We try to keep our email subscribers really informed on everything we're doing, and again, there's no charge to be on there. So we hope you can join us for our future shows. You can find all of our work on our website at alanberryreports.com. We'll see you soon, and have a great day.